Arise business analyst Chika Mbono joins me live from our Abuja studio to discuss this. Good morning to you, Chika. Thank you so much for joining us. So 5 months, March, now flights are resuming. Chika, can you speak to the impact, I guess, what it means for international flights to now resume?
Aviation is a major driver for the growth of every economy, especially international aviation. You know the consequences of the shutdown of aviation. Supply chains broke down. You couldn't move people around from one economy to another economy. And everything just got to a standstill. And so we're happy that the international flights are being put back again. Our airport is being opened. I hear also Ghana is opening on September 1. So there's a correlation between the countries to make sure that this happens. So it's good news for the economy. It's going to help the economy grow and get out from the slumber that we've been for some time now.
Thank you for that, Chika. I want to put up some financial struggles that the Aerospace Management Agency has been facing. This was a story that was in our sister publication this day. They were talking about how international flights had severely affected their ability to grow revenues there. So 3,000 staff, 1.5 billion naira monthly wage bill. So far, only cargo and evacuation flights have been operational. Of course, Minister Hadi Sirika said the evacuation flights will end, I believe, on the 25th or so. But essentially, what does this mean for an agency like NAMA to now have, I guess, international flights resume? And I don't know if you want to speak to the size of their wage bill with the 3,000 staff, if you want to.
NAMA takes care of our airspace, make sure that the radio and the radar is working. And they get their revenues from a share of the 5% service charge that passengers pay. And then, of course, of our flight charges and terminal charges from international airlines. The bulk of their revenues come from international airlines. And so, NAMA has been hit on the head, so much because of the shutdown of international flights. And that's why they have been crying. And the coming back of these international flights will help restore some of the revenue base. But let me put it this way: it's not an El Dorado yet. Let me give you the example of the domestic airlines. One of the CEOs told me that he used to do 120 flights in a day. Now he does about 30 flights in a day. So he also heard the Minister of Aviation say that initially there'll be 4 flights into Lagos and 4 into Abuja, compared to the 30, 40 flights they used to have every day. So yeah, of course, trickles of revenue will start coming up again for them, but it's better than nothing. So the revenue structure will start being restored. Yes, I hear you, what you talked about, their staff, 3,000 staff, 1.5 billion naira in payroll costs. Do recall that NAMA looks after the radio and the radar for the country, and they are in so many remote locations where some of these equipments are, and they have to cover them. In addition, also, do recall also that we talked about it in this program several times, that there's some of the airports, apart when you count on your finger, maximum 5 airports or 6 airports in Nigeria that are profitable. Others are just there, maybe 1 flight in a day, but they still have to have NAMA employees in those airports. And so that's basically what it is. Number seems large, the cost of payroll seems large, but maybe that leads to the kind of work they're doing too.
Thank you for that, Chika. Finally, I want us to talk about foreign exchange in a second, but just one final question on the aviation matter. What about the bailouts? Because you've just mentioned, talking to CEOs, the number of flights going through, the trickling of, slowly but surely flights coming into Lagos. What about the bailout for the aviation sector? Are we still going to hear anything about that?
Well, this seemed to be on the hot burner at the time, with the Minister of Aviation pushing it, and I think the figure was about 27 to 30 billion naira to be shared to the airline operators and different other operators in the industry. But it seemed to be, we didn't hear about it again, and I don't know what has happened. But because it's on NAMA said they had to go and borrow to cover their payroll. So that means they have not gotten the palliatives. So we're hoping that the government will put it in, even though that flights have returned, because especially the domestic aviation, all of them are still crying because the load factor is very low, very low. They're using 30% of their fleet, and even those that are flying are not doing up to 50% load factor for most of the routes.
Thank you for that, Chika. Okay, let's move. Moving to FX, but this is still linked because we have a quote here from the CBN's Director of Communications, Mr. Isaac Okorafor, who said that we will resume. There it is. Customers of BDCs are largely travelers. When the government has suspended international flights, the BDCs requested that we grant them holidays as well. So once the government announces the resumption of international flights, we will resume forex sales to BDCs. He was speaking to our sister publication this day, where he says BDC. Forex sales to BDCs will resume along with international flights. So what do you make of the impact? Is it much needed FX into that sector?
It will help. It will help, but that's not the major silver bullet. The issue is that the quantity of FX that we have available for the country is reduced, and you don't need to be a rocket scientist to know that. Oil prices have fallen, about 1.4 million barrels per day, hanging around $40 per barrel compared to what it used to be. Nigeria needs to about $70 per barrel, $7 per barrel, and about 2 million barrels a day to balance its budget. So that's the situation that we face. So at the big picture there is that we have scarcity of foreign exchange. Our earnings of foreign exchange are reduced because of the COVID issue and the impact it's had on our oil, the demand for our major product, oil. But yes, you saw that the foreign exchange market, the free market where the BDCs play, be hanging at 470, whereas the NAFEX market is about 380. You can see the gap, almost 170 naira gap or 80 naira gap. And the theory is that if that market is supplied, the pressure is reduced from, and then it will bring down the price closer to the rate of 380 that the government, the central bank wants to unify the rates.
Thank you for that, Chika. So are we still, as far as, we've got a couple minutes left here, but are we still expecting or still hoping for the World Bank to come through with that $2.5 billion loan in order to assist with, I guess, FX pressure?
We're waiting for the GDP result for the Q2 to come out. We're already in Q3. And Q2, we know, is going to be a negative growth. If Q3 doesn't turn out well, it means we're going to enter into recession. So we require all the support we can get from all the external people, principally including the World Bank. That loan has been there. We thought by now we would have had it into our account, but somehow they didn't meet when they were supposed to meet in August. We're hoping that they will meet again, and maybe the conditions that they have given to us will comply and meet them to enable us to access that loan. But we need it to be able to balance our books and then strengthen our exchange rates.
Arise business analyst Chika Mbonu, thank you so much for taking us through the resumption of flights international and, of course, sale of FX to BDCs. We appreciate your insights.